This is page 78 of Initiation into Hermetics, the PDF file with the description below the download. And this is about drawing the elements directly into the room where you're sitting, directly from the universe. Not bring them through your body, but just call them forth from the universe directly to where you're sitting. And so what you do is you sit in your sauna position as usual. And then you just imagine you're drawing the fire element from, like it says here, on the space, the universe, and you're filling the room with it. And just continue to imagine you're filling it, drawing it from all directions to the room, from all around you. And it's coming from the primary source. You just call it directly with your imagination as you sit there. And do it until you feel some heat, or imagine that you feel heat. And as you do it, compress it and accumulate it and condense it in the room so you're going to compact it with your mind. And then as you do it, you should become a stronger force, a feeling of heat, or imagine you feel heat. You should feel it, on you. And then just do that so you're comfortable doing it, then dissolve it from the room back into where it came from, to the universe. And I'll do the same thing for the air element. And you should draw it directly out of it. And what should happen is you should feel, like it says here, a sense of lightness or floating, an ocean of air. So you sit there in the sauna position, draw it forth, call it forth, accumulate it, compress it, accumulate it more, and then condense it with your mind in the room so it builds up and becomes stronger and stronger until you feel a feeling of lightness. Go over and do that, and then dissolve that back into the universe. And then you go to the water element. Imagine you're surrounded by this endless ocean of water and the universe, and draw it forth through your imagination into the room you're sitting. And then keep building it up and compressing it and condensing it with your mind in the room so it builds up more and more. You should get the sensation of a cold vapor. It should cool. And keep doing that so you can feel it, or imagine you feel it being colder as you do it to condense it. And then as soon as you do it, dissolve it out back to the universe. And I'll try with the earth element. So you imagine this great mass of earth or clay or dirt. And you draw it into your unit, draw it into your room, condense it more and more, and bring it in there, compact it with your mind in the room you're sitting in. You should feel it should be a feeling of heaviness and pressure on your body. You would know that you are accumulated it there. And keep doing that until you feel it, or imagine you feel it in your imagination. And then do that so you're comfortable doing it. And then dissolve it out. And probably to do these 4 here, just a couple of days. I don't give like my viewpoint how long it should take. You have to go by how you feel. If you've plateaued and you feel comfortable, you know in your gut you've done it. You've experienced these different feelings corresponding to each element. And so a couple of days or whatever, and do it before you go on to the next section here, which is he's talking about the elements here for healing people, that if you're going to heal people, I guess he says you have to draw through the body. Whereas if you want to create elementals, which is in a future chapter, you would just draw it. You could draw it through the universe. Though in some cases, I think you might want to draw it to yourself for an elemental or something if it's for you. But that's not for till a later chapter. And then the next step, once you've done that, is to condense it into a form. So you're going to call it forth, and then, like for the fire element, bring it down and condense it. And instead of filling the room, make a ball like from the fire element. So you would imagine yourself sitting in the fire, calling it forth, condensing it, and instead of just letting it spread in the room you're sitting in, you would condense it into like a ball. Start making a ball of fire. And then once you've done that, and it's hot and it's in front of you, so you can almost see it in your mind and touch it, you do a ball for air, one of water, one of earth. So you'd have like a blue ball of air, then maybe a bluish green ball of water, and one of brown for earth. And then you would try different shapes. So start with a ball, then you maybe make a triangle, maybe make a square, an octagon, whatever. Try various shapes. Go through that a bunch until you're comfortable, you feel you've plateaued and you've got it down. And then he's just discussing here at the end, once you've mastered this condensing element, you can literally take the fire element and condense it to such a degree that you can start a fire. Even at the greatest of distances, I would say this would take quite a bit of practice. I don't know if anyone could really do this. I would take a tremendous amount of work. And then he's just saying to try it once you've gone through these previous steps, and try creating a fiery ball from the universe without passing through the body, and then compress it to a small little bead and imagine it coming into a glowing spark, and try doing that. And then he's saying to test it, I mean, put a cotton ball with alcohol or something, try and light it on fire. But I guess he's saying you would put the fire element into it first till it's a glowing spark, and then you would need the air element added to it to give it the air to start it, and let them both touch the cotton ball to catch fire and burn. So you would have to be able to condense the fire element to such a degree that it would be a glowing spark you would put into a cotton ball that's soaked in alcohol or gas maybe, and then you would take a air element, condense it, and then put them both at the same time. You have them, I guess, float in front of you, and just then put them into a cotton ball and literally be able to light it on fire. This would take a tremendous amount of practice. Most people, I mean, you would have to sit to it and do it. And he's saying lighting a candle on fire with the same thing with a fire element and air element. And this would take this would take more than months. You're looking, I would think, to do this, you're looking at like years to really master it. Because I'm just going through these exercises to get to the point where you're comfortable doing them. But I would think this would take, I mean, I've never attempted to do this or been able to light something on fire. I have no doubt you could do it, but it would take a lot of training. I think he's actually thinking if you get to this step, you should be able to do it, which means that the whole book, you really want to go beyond plateauing. I just went to the part where I was plateauing and found I could do it, and then I would move on, just try to get through the book. But constantly practicing exercises over time. He's talking about here something about someone making a seed grow to a fruit within an hour, which I have no doubt you could do if you really mastered elements, but it would probably take years. And he's talking about water here. Taking a glass of water, condensing the fire element, put it into the glass of water, and making it so there'd be a sulfur taste to it, and then actually test it with litmus paper and seeing that though you've actually changed the water. So these are just the various tests you can try once you get through these previous couple exercises of working with elements. You probably, if you make it to this point, probably could get some result of heat or produce a spark. As far as setting something on fire, I don't know, but you could probably make something hot. You no doubt, if you condense the heat element, even at the fire element, even at a somewhat beginner's level, just working through the exercises up to here after a couple months, you probably could heat something up and add the air element to it, and maybe make it really warm. But that's about it for these exercises here. And and he's talking here just about how you can't skip any exercises. And so that's about it for this. That's all I have to say.